The mansion was wrapped in the kind of silence that only wealth could afford. Expensive silence. Heavy drapes muffling the world outside, marble floors reflecting soft afternoon light, and the faint ticking of a golden clock on the wall. Alexander Reed, the 34-year-old CEO of a multinational corporation, sat alone in his living room. His life had always been about control, controlling markets, controlling people, and above all, controlling himself. His sharp mind and discipline had built an empire, but behind the success was a man who trusted no one. He had learned the hard way. Business partners had betrayed him. Friends had sold him out. Even those who smiled at him always had a hidden motive. So when Lily, the new maid, joined his household 3 months ago, he had watched her carefully. She was quiet, humble, almost invisible as she moved around the house, cleaning every corner with care. She never made eye contact for long, never talked unless spoken to, and never complained about anything. But her silence made him suspicious. His wealthy friends at a recent dinner had warned him. "Greater than, you're too trusting, Alex," one had said. "Even a shy face can hide greedy hands. Test them before you rely on them." That thought festered in his mind. So today, he decided to test her. It was a bright Sunday afternoon. Alexander had the entire day free. He ordered his driver and other staff to take the day off, saying he wanted peace. Only Lily remained in the mansion. As usual, she preferred not to go anywhere. Before she came to clean the living room, Alexander set his plan in motion. He took out a small leather pouch from his study. Inside it were gold coins his late father had collected. Next to it, he placed a neat stack of crisp $100 bills. He made sure both were clearly visible on the glass table beside the couch. Then he leaned back, took off his tie, loosened his collar, and lay down as if to nap. He adjusted the cushion behind his head, half closing his eyes but keeping his senses sharp. He wanted to see, to truly know what kind of person Lily was. Minutes passed. Then he heard soft footsteps from the hallway. Lily entered, carrying a small basket of cleaning supplies. Her hair was tied back neatly, a few loose strands framing her pale face. She moved quietly, almost like a shadow, wiping the furniture, dusting the shelves, aligning books and vases. Then she noticed the table. Her hand froze mid-air. The duster hung loosely in her grip. Gold coins gleamed under the sunlight. The dollar bills looked fresh and crisp, just waiting to be picked up. She looked at Alexander, his eyes closed, breathing steady. He could feel her gaze on him. His heart beat faster. What will she do? After a long pause, Lily walked closer. Her footsteps were soft but clear. She bent slightly, inspecting the coins. Her reflection shimmered in the glass tabletop. Then, carefully, she reached out and touched the pouch. Alexander's heartbeat raced. His mind began to whisper, "There it is, just like everyone else." But Lily didn't open it. Instead, she frowned slightly, as if puzzled by why someone would leave such valuables carelessly lying around. She looked at him again. He seemed asleep, then gently lifted the pouch only to set it back down exactly where it had been. Next, she picked up the dollar bills. She counted them, 1, 2, 3, 10 notes. But as she did, she noticed one had slipped beneath the edge of the couch. She knelt, reached underneath, and retrieved it carefully. Then she placed the entire bundle neatly together, aligned perfectly. For a brief moment, she stood there staring at them. Then she whispered softly to herself, "Sir should really be more careful. Not everyone in this world is honest." Her voice trembled slightly, not with guilt, but concern. Alexander's throat tightened. He had expected greed. He had expected temptation. But instead, he was met with purity. Lily took a small white envelope from her apron pocket. It was one of the payment slips he had given her earlier that week. She placed the envelope next to the money and coins. On it, she wrote in careful, neat handwriting, "Greater than, sir, your valuables were left here. I did not touch anything. Please be more cautious next time, Lily." She then went back to dusting the shelves, humming a tune so soft that even the air seemed to listen. Half an hour later, she finished cleaning and turned to leave the room. But before she could, Alexander opened his eyes. "Lily," he said quietly. She jumped, startled, her face turning pale. "Yes, sir. I thought you were asleep." He sat up slowly, pretending to stretch. I was, but not really. Her eyes widened. Not really. You were awake. He nodded. Yes. I wanted to see something. Her voice trembled. See what, sir? He stood, his tall figure casting a shadow over her small frame. His eyes were softer now, but serious. I wanted to see who you really are. Her lips parted, confusion flooding her face. I don't understand. Alexander walked to the table, picked up the pouch and the bills. These, I left them here on purpose. I wanted to know if you would take them. Lily's eyes filled with tears instantly. Sir, you thought I would steal. He sighed. After everything I've been through, I stopped believing in people. I test everyone now, but, he looked at her deeply, you proved me wrong. She looked down, tears falling silently onto the marble floor. I understand, sir. Rich people have reasons not to trust. Her voice was gentle, without bitterness. That made it worse. Alexander felt something inside him shift. A quiet shame, but also admiration. You didn't just pass my test, he said softly. You reminded me that honesty still exists. He picked up the pouch and handed it to her. This is yours now. She shook her head immediately. No, sir, I can't accept it. I only did what was right. Exactly, he said, and that's why you deserve it. Lily pressed her hands together, almost pleading. Sir, please, I don't need gold. Just let me keep working. Alexander studied her, the humility, the trembling sincerity in her voice. No greed, no act, just truth. He smiled faintly. You'll keep your job, but you'll also get something else, my trust. She looked up, eyes shining with emotion. Thank you, sir. Days passed after that incident, but something inside Alexander had changed. He began noticing small things about Lily, how carefully she arranged the flowers every morning, how she smiled when talking to the old gardener, how she whispered prayers when she thought no one could hear. He realized that she wasn't just a maid, she was the quiet strength in his empty house. One evening, after returning from a long business meeting, he found dinner already set on the table. The aroma of home-cooked food filled the air. He looked at her and said, "You cooked this?" She nodded shyly. "Yes, sir. I thought you might be tired." He sat down and tasted the food. It wasn't perfect, a little too much salt, but it felt like comfort. He smiled. "It's good." She blushed faintly. "Thank you, sir." Over the weeks, their relationship changed subtly. He stopped calling her Maid. He began asking her opinion about the house, sometimes even about life. She would answer softly, always respectful but honest. And for the first time in years, Alexander laughed again. He found himself waiting for her quiet presence, for her calm voice that somehow made the world less cruel. One rainy night, the mansion lost power. The thunder outside roared like anger from the sky. Lily, frightened of lightning, lit candles around the room. Alexander came downstairs with a flashlight. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded nervously. "Yes, sir. I just don't like thunder." He smiled gently. "You don't have to be afraid. I'm here." She looked up, eyes glistening in candlelight. For a second, their gazes met. Two people from completely different worlds, connected by something wordless. Alexander broke the silence. "You know, the day I tested you, I thought I was testing your honesty. But I think it was life testing me." She tilted her head. "Testing you, sir?" He nodded. "Yes, to see if I still had the heart to believe in someone good." Lily smiled softly. "Sometimes, sir, people just need a reason to trust again." Her words stayed with him long after she went upstairs that night. Months later, when Lily's contract was about to end, Alexander called her into his study. "I have a proposal," he said. She looked nervous. "Am I being fired?" He laughed gently. "Quite the opposite. I want you to manage this house, officially. You'll have full authority, a salary raise, and no more menial chores." Her eyes widened. "Sir, I'm just a maid." "Not anymore," he said firmly. "You've proven you're worth far more than that." Tears filled her eyes. "Sir, I don't know what to say." "Just say you'll stay." She nodded slowly, smiling through tears. "I'll stay, sir." That night, Alexander stood by his window, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere behind him, in the same mansion that had once felt cold and empty, there was laughter, soft, gentle, and honest. He realized that sometimes, wealth doesn't test others, it tests you. And he had finally passed. Because the richest thing he ever gained wasn't money. It was trust.